session. Thank you for joining us today for the first webinar in this series of communication webinars. It's one of the first activities that we are launching in this phase of IWL 5. I'm Konstantina Toli. I'm the project coordinator of IWL. And I lead the project coordination unit here in Paris in IOC UNESCO. We very much look forward to engaging further with this comms community. We consider it the foundation of our GEF IW community. We rely on communications, on your support, not only to communicate the impact, the results and the impact of GEF funding, but also to share the knowledge from your projects. Usually you have a dual role of communications and knowledge management. And to bring in this knowledge, to share it with us, and then as IW learn to curate it, to manage it, and to share it further. Just a few words on the projects for those who are not familiar with. You see this? Okay. We are in the fifth phase of IW Learn, and just an overview, very quick overview of what the project entails, because IW Learn is also a project apart from a network. It entails 5 components. One is about targeted knowledge sharing and results showcasing. And this is more of our communication, more of our knowledge management component, where we connect, we receive, we curate, we manage knowledge, we exchange and we share it within the portfolio, and of course in international and global events. The second component, which is very much focused on communication and the replication of portfolio results and experiences, this is where this activity lies, and of course, the impact of your work. The third component on small island development stage on supporting receipts. Fourth component on supporting surface, freshwater, groundwater, and large marine ecosystems. Is it better? Sorry, I only see my screen, so I really don't know what your reactions are. I would if I knew how to switch it. It's not happening. Sorry, it's only one slide, so please bear with me. So the fourth component on constructive management of surface and groundwaters, large marine ecosystems, nexus, and all the integrated approaches. And the fifth component on mobilizing public and private partnerships, private sector engagement, and sustainable financing. I think I will leave you with this overview, and I will hand over to my colleagues to continue with this webinar. What I would like to say from our end as project steering committee is that we really look forward to engaging closely with you. There will be, as you will see, this is the first webinar, but we are planning on having, or if you're interested, of course, to fostering a community of GEF communicators, so that you have a safe place where you exchange ideas, you exchange what is happening with your projects, and you share what is happening and what you tried, what has worked and what has not worked. So we very much look forward to that, and of course having a series of not only webinars but also physical meetings the first one coming up in the next International Waters Conference in September 2024. More information very, very soon on your mailboxes. Thank you very much. Over to you, Christine.
Thanks very much, Constantina. And now I'll pass on the mic to Claudette, who is the project manager of IWL.
Hi, hello to everybody, and yeah, thanks again for joining. I would very much like if for a moment those who can turn on the video, so I can see yeah, who is behind the names. That usually really helps us to know the people. Thank you. Hi, hello. I realize that I know only a few. I've interacted with in some emails, but yeah, it's good to see who's behind the name. Now, feel free to switch off if you prefer. So okay, I'm the project manager of IW Learn, and what I will do next is to present to you the results of the portfolio survey that we launched 1 month ago. Some of you have probably know about the survey, or maybe even filled in parts of the survey. Here I'm going to focus specifically on the part that focuses on communication and knowledge management. So let me share my screen. Is the sound okay like this? Good. And let me try to share the screen and see what that will give. Okay. Okay, is that okay? Because I don't see you anymore now. All good? Okay.
I actually don't see your screen.
You will see probably this. This is the issue with the double screen we were talking about. Okay, let me try something else then.
So in the meantime, maybe yeah, so that we uncover a little bit the mystery, we're just gonna launch this 3 poll questions, if you're fine with that, Claudette, just to check where everyone
Yes.
is calling from.
Sure.
There you go. Are you able to see the poll? Yeah, it's working. So let's just give this a couple of minutes so we can properly greet everyone. So we have people from Asia, Europe, Latin America, and the Caribbean. I guess it's too late for Oceania. So just to remind everyone, there are 3 short questions on the poll box. Looks good. So many people are feeling great. That's already a good sign, a good start for the new work week. So are you all able to see the results, by the way? Not really. Then in this case, let me just quickly share my... Oh, Claudette, I will share my screen very quickly. So there you go. So we have colleagues from Asia, Europe, and Latin America, and LAC. And then most of the participants are from a marine GEF IW project. And then some from freshwater and other thematic areas, I suppose. And then, yeah, many people are feeling great. So that's really, really good. We're happy to know that. And we hope that that stays like that for the rest of the week. Now over to you again, Claudette. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Thanks, Tina, for jumping in. Sorry, I overlooked the poll. Okay, so I will end the poll, share the screen, and hopefully we can continue. Does that work?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. So as I already said, I'm going to present the results from this portfolio survey that we undertook a couple of weeks ago, of which one component was focusing on communication and knowledge management. That's part 2. And of course, the aim of this exercise was very much to get input from the GEF IW portfolio, to learn a bit more about their perceptions, about which types of services, IW Learn services, are most in use or in demand, and also which are the needs of the portfolio. In total, we received responses from 47 projects, which is, let's say, not so bad. Of course, could be always better, but it's a response rate of around 55% on top of my head, let's say. There was a second survey that was circulated that was more aimed at the agencies. Here, I will focus on the portfolio survey. So essentially for this part, we had 10 questions. So I will just go through the results of these 10 questions. The first one was very much an open question. What kind of support for project communications do you need for your project? And I think it's very clear here that 3 bars stand out. The highest result, so to speak, is support for networking with other projects. Especially on exchanging related to communications, outreach, and promotion of activities, etc. Another aspect that was highly rated was with respect to expanding, once again, the project's outreach, and also the need to access a roster of experts, especially experts, communication experts with experience in GEF IW projects. The following set of questions were focusing on the website. So as you all know, IW Learn has a quite extensive website, iwlearn.net. That is essentially the result of 5 project phases, having also quite a substantial, let's say, amount of information that is archived from previous projects, as well as other information on current ongoing projects. So the question here was, what are the top 3 reasons why you visit the website, the IW Learn website? And what we can see that, at least for those who replied to the survey, the first reason is very much to access the references and the resources. And this could be events, reports from other projects, outputs, and other outputs from similar projects. Other equally important reasons relate to the access of the latest news and happenings, especially those related to the IW portfolio as well, and the IW management. I think a third reason here, we can also consider the orange. The orange sector is very much to check relevant information on what's happening. This question was related to the kind of communications training that will be most valuable for you and for your team. Here, the answers, actually, it was a long list of answers, and what I try to do here is to group some answers and to try to extract some key messages, so to speak. For instance, there was what I can read, at least you can read as well, but what I can make from this, let's say, is the need for having trainings on, of course, communicating across the portfolio, for sharing of the results, for finding effective ways for communicating the activities, the outputs, and the impacts, also to a wide range of audience, so to reach out to different types of stakeholders. And also training, of course, another aspect of communicating on storytelling and on writing articles, etc., etc. So that would be a first block. I mean, related to that, you can see a second block bringing forward different types of trainings or aspects that could be included in such communication trainings. For instance, trainings on how to put together videos, visuals, infographics, etc. So this visual communication part, how to work with other projects, related also to the networking aspect that was brought forward in the first question. Training on how to engage media and how to enhance exposure, media exposure. Trainings or tips on how to put together the communication strategies and plans for a particular project. Training on developing shared databases, training on new tools, communication and social media tools, multilingual communications, branding, logos, etc. So I think there we, thanks to this question, I think we got very, very valuable and relevant information on the needs, on the types of communication training needs that the portfolio is looking for. Especially the last point, I think that captured also my attention. Under this communication trainings, somebody also put forward the clarity on the expected input to IW Learn from the project side. So you will hear quite a lot from us what we would like to get from the portfolio, but I think there is also the need to clarify the other way around. What IW Learn, not the other way around, what the portfolio would like to get from IW Learn and the other way around. Okay, so next question was about, are there any project communication efforts in which you feel your organization is an expert in and would like to share your knowledge? What we see here very clearly is, although the proposals we put forward got some, let's say, they got selected to various extent, a number of answers could be grouped under the category other. And if we try to unpack what is under other, there were a lot of other suggestions. For instance, GIS mapping via Google Maps, networking once again, presentations, and as well as nothing in particular. So a lot of the people in the projects that filled in the survey felt that they are not experts in anything in particular. Now, the question, are you responsible for producing communication outreach products in your organization? Once again, the category other got the highest score. And here, I think, if we try to understand a bit what is behind this result, actually, a lot of projects indicate that they still don't have a communications person that is responsible for comms in their team. Or, for instance, their communication products, it's kind of outsourced to partners or to some other organization. So I think what I also read here is that we still don't have, let's say, we're still not in touch with the full community. I think there is, let's say, another layer of contact that we still need to get in touch with. So what top 3 improvements you would like to see in the IW Learn website? So here, I think we put forward quite a few suggestions. The first one, the highest score, went essentially to the point on more information on online training courses and webinars that are provided by IWLearn as well as by IWLearn partners. That was closely followed by more visualized data and information, for instance, in the form of maps or infographics. The third point points towards easy access to information. And therefore, yeah, here what I read is maybe it's not very clear or obvious for everybody who's not very familiar with the website to navigate through the website and through the different layers of information that the website contains. And the fourth point, what would you like to see in the IWLearn website is actually more information on IWLearn upcoming events. So I think clearly here, we need to explore further how to use the website to announce the activities that IWLearn is preparing, is organizing to service the portfolio. Okay, are you familiar with other IWLearn platforms and social media channels? I think here what we see is a fair distribution of of the scores, let's say, at least to the options that we provided. I was personally quite happy to see IWLearn LinkedIn getting relatively equal scores to the other channels. Because the LinkedIn, our LinkedIn account is relatively, IWLearn account is relatively new. So it looks to me that it's catching up, so to speak, with the other social medias. And of course, what one can also see here is that the Spatial Lab, IWLearn Spatial Lab, that was the result of previous IWLearn. Most of the people, or at least some of the people, are not yet familiar with that. Okay, so the last few questions relate to the portfolio bulletin. And here the question was, how often does your project contribute news, stories, or articles to the portfolio bulletin? Yeah, very clear. No need for a lot of explanation. I think most projects haven't contributed yet, and that's probably also requires some other actions, efforts from our side. And in fact, that point is answered here in this next question. What support do you or your portfolio need to be able to contribute regularly to the bulletin? And it looks like the main support, or what is missing, is actually regular reminders, calls to submit articles on specific topics. Others indicated, for instance, the help, the support of IWLearn to touch up the stories that they submit, as well related to the questions before, the need for capacity building, especially on storytelling, on writing articles, on presenting the outcomes, and making an impactful article. Very last question, focusing on the data and information management that we abbreviate as DIM in short. What kind of DIM and website support would be useful for your project? And here what we see, once again, we put forward various options. But what we see is that the option that ranked first was regional and thematic workshops on DIM and website support to enable us to collaborate with other GEF IW projects and organizations on a wider scale initiative, for example, the SDG reporting. I think this is very clear. And we will make sure that this is taken up in our planning and programming of the workshops. I believe that was the last one. Any questions?
So I think yeah, we don't have any questions yet.
I'm trying to stop
Okay, no,
sharing.
there's some comments.
Okay. How do I stop sharing? Okay.
Okay. Thanks very much,
Good.
Martha, for your comment. This is a comment on the website. And yeah, we are actually working on some improvements for the website. So hopefully in the coming days, weeks, you would be able to see a better IWLearn.net. Okay. I guess that's about it, Claudette.
Thank you.
And by the way, if any of you has any questions or any feedback at any point, just feel free to raise your hands or to type in the group chat. So in this case, I guess I'm gonna take the floor and go straight to introducing the IWLearn communications platform. Bear with me. Okay. I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes.
Thanks very much. Okay. So like what Claudette mentioned, so the communications platform that we have right now in IWLearn.net, in IWLearn is a product of, let's say, 4 phases, and now we're coming up with some improvements in phase 5 to meet the emerging needs of the community. So this is the reason why normally at the beginning of an IWLearn phase, we normally start with asking projects what their needs are, what they think needs to be improved, and how we can help them communicate and do other learning and knowledge management stuff better. But now let me introduce to you some of the things that we do in IWLearn in terms of communication. So I think let me introduce first myself. We sort of did our introduction more independently. So I'm Christine Custodio Gudzinski. I am a consultant on communications for IWLearn Phase 5. I was involved in 4 other in the previous 3 phases of IWLearn. So I've seen IWLearn's platform really transform, grow, also the users, the uptake. Like everything was so exciting to see because we started having very basic websites, as you can imagine, from late 1990s when we had the first IWLearn website. We had to code most of the pages, or not me. I mean, the ones who did it before me, the first IWLearn website. And my first exposure in the GEF IW community was in 2002 when I joined when I joined the project, one of the first projects in Asia, so PEMC, which has transitioned a few years ago into an independent regional mechanism in Southeast Asia. So just to give some more motivation on what could happen to an international waters project. So it can actually right now we're just looking at, you're probably just thinking about your project as a project, but it can actually evolve into and transform into a much bigger mechanism for your region. So that's where I started. And now I'm working most of the time for UNDP, for the Ocean Innovation Challenge. And being part of the UNDP ecosystem has opened new doors to me as a communications practitioner, because I saw also with the emerging tools, like now it's so easy to just subscribe to online tools. So there are many things we can do to really get the good messages out there to inspire actions and new partnerships. So for IWLearn, so component 2 is actually about supporting the communication and replication of portfolio results and experiences. So to simplify it, for us to be able to communicate our work, to fulfill component two, we have to really work with the projects, because most of the work on the ground are being done by you. So you are doing all the great works out there, and we would like to help you really spread the word um, at a global level as much as possible. And then because of that, we hope to see increased experience sharing and replication of successes within and beyond the portfolio. So we know that there is the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda, the SDGs, and we're just 7 years away from it. So we really have to double our efforts. And one of the challenges is somehow our efforts have not reached at the level where we're really able to tell the community, the international community, that, hey, we're doing this, and these are our results. And this is what we contribute to really amplify and show that there are efforts going on. So that's one. And also, of course, we wanna show the good work that we're doing. We wanna tell it properly so that we can replicate and also scale up the investments of the GEF, because there are most of the the project processes are planned to be replicable and scalable. I'm pretty sure the project managers who joined us in this call know pretty much about this. So this is the outcome that we hope to see for IW Learn Phase 5. And of course, in the end, you would like to see that in the portfolio, the managers have the tools that they need to really govern, to help the local counterparts, the national agencies, the partners, really be able to manage the international waters at a more effective scale. So how do we do that? So we have the IW Learn website. So I will not delve very deep into what's inside the website, but basically what we've been trying to do in the past years is we try to archive all of the legacies of the projects that closed. So just for your information, there's around 470 plus projects ever since the GEF International Waters portfolio was conceptualized and came into being. So just imagine how much, we've been trying to really archive everything, documents, websites, data. And the challenge is we can only document what we have access to. So there were phases wherein we were really working very hard, giving the skills, the platform, the technology to the project members on how to build a new website. And based on my own experience, there were many times wherein we were training project managers. So I was one of the people who were really training the project contacts. So project managers were training to come up with a website, also technical officers, project assistants. So not website developers. And it was possible. So because basically what we're using are user-friendly tools and tools which projects don't really need to spend on. On this, so we have the project website toolkit. We can give you more information on that, or you can also go to iwlearn.net to explore more what it's about. But it's basically helping projects build their own website, or at least come up with a website, especially for organizations and projects who have the capacity to host their own website, to at least meet the minimum standards. Like the website should have what the project is about, a section on documents, which will host the reports, technical papers, briefs, etc. And also a section on events, a section on multimedia. So these are the basic things that we would like to access and be able to also store in iwlearn.net. And why are we doing that? It's because one, like I said, to protect the legacy, so that in some cases wherein the project closes, the organization that's hosting the project decides that there is no budget anymore to support, a certain website or service, then at least IW Learn will still have a record of the project websites, and we can still keep on sharing all the learnings from these projects beyond the project timeline. And also the agencies, so the project managers, the portfolio managers from the GEF, from UNDP, from UNEP, who've been also around since most of them from the beginning, they already know that when they need something, they need to know about a specific project, they go to iwlearn.net. So if we don't have any information on a specific project, we get the complaints. So we hear something. So we're really trying to, it's like we try to help the projects help us also fulfill our tasks. Okay, and we will share these slides later, just in case you'd like to see what should be in a project website and what we're providing in iwlearn.net. So the next one is, this is intended, this is the plan for phase 5. So this is basically packaging what what IW Learn was already providing the projects in the previous phases. So we provide the tools, like if you need a website, you don't have the ability, the skills, the manpower to host a website, just come to us and we'll give you some advice. Right now, we're still sorting how to proceed with the website hosting, because of course there are also new technologies, new way of doing things, and also a new arrangement within the phase 5, within the implementing and executing agencies that we still have to sort out. But yeah, we at least for now can give advice on this. So we have also a special lab, GeoNode, and it's good to see that many of you are also familiar with that. Then we have the usual social media platforms. We don't have WhatsApp yet. This is what's coming. So we have Facebook, Twitter, or X. It's called now X, LinkedIn. We don't have Instagram for now. And then this is also one of the targets, to have a primer wherein many of the projects are implemented by different agencies who have their own communication or branding guidelines. So even though we have our own task in IW Learn, requiring you to come up with this and that, to display these logos, the GEF, the executing, etc., etc. Of course, some of the projects also have to comply with their own implementing and executing organizations' branding guidelines. So one of the vision is to compile this, and maybe we can have a conversation on how to come up with a compromise that we meet both the IW Learn, which is a requirement. What we have is requirements from the GEF, like they get visibility. That's why we need to always use the GEF logo. And these things, so that we can synergize also on what each of the organizations offer. And then this is exactly what we have right now, a support center wherein we will hold webinars on specific topics. This is just the beginning. We're just introducing what we plan to do in the coming weeks and months. So we have also on-demand tutorials for those who've already been using the IW Learn platform. Then they can write to us a message or send us a message and ask how to do this and that, and we're more than happy to help. Okay, so just a very quick introduction to what we have, wherein we need your intervention. We have the project database. So this is mostly what the agencies look for when they visit iwlearn.net. So it has the profile of your projects. So this is an example. So I saw that Stella was here. She's the comms person for FC. We have all the basic details. You don't need to provide these things to us. We get this directly from the GEF project database. But what we need are the parts, the content for the documents and resources. So like what I've mentioned, we can only upload here what we have access to and what we are aware of. And even for that, we set up some searches, automatic searches, to know which documents are there. But if we don't know who has a project website, and yeah, it gets a little bit challenging for us to deliver what's expected from us on this. So we would like you to, as much as possible, review and let us know what's missing from your project profile. One. And then this is one of the services that we offer, as mentioned. We are archiving project websites. So in most cases, the small project websites, we can really host them on our server. That's fine. But for big project websites, it's ideal to have them hosted by a regional organization or a national organization. And also the other thing is, when it comes to the website guidelines, when we say that these are the contents, these are the recommended technology or functionality that a website should have, it also has something to do with archiving a project website, because some websites with really powerful functions, it's not easy to sustain them. So like if you have a special map, so if we archive them at some point, they might stop working. So we always recommend a specific set of features wherein we're sure, like if you use Google and you will just embed it into your project website, Google will, in most cases, continue Google Maps. So we can say that, okay, that's fine, absolutely fine. That doesn't need any manual updating from the project team or from IWL. So it has something to do with archiving websites. Or you can take note of this now. You can also ask your webmaster or whoever is keeping your website to visit archive.org. And it's a free service online that's really, you can say that today you want to keep a record of what's on your website, that it archives it. It can do that. It can do that many times in an entire project timeline. So I will also include the link here so you can have a look later on. And probably it's not so bad to keep a record already of your website, a copy of your website there. So this is an example of a website toolkit that was hosted and created initially by IWLearn and then was subsequently maintained by the project team themselves. So it's very easy to use. And then we also have the experience notes. This is a requirement from the GEF, or it's a desire from the GEF, because then we are able to share and build up on each other's learnings. So if someone already has learned something about this assessment of, let's say, marine special planning in the Adriatic, and if your project is in the Mediterranean or in the same area, then you can just go here and you can read through this and learn from it. And whatever is missing, then that's the only thing where you need to invest your time and your resources. And we do have, it used to be only in PDF format. We normally collect this at least once a year, or definitely before an international waters conference, because we'd like this to serve as a basis to start a conversation at the conference. It used to be only in PDF format, but now we have an online format. So it's very easy to use. You just go to iwlearn.net/experience. It's here. So I'm going to highlight that later on so it's easy for you to see. Okay, that's very easy to use. I'm not going to explain it further in the interest of time. And then of course, this is, I think, what everyone is familiar with, the news section and the newsletter, or what we call the portfolio bulletin. So we will now aim to release one edition per month, like even if it contains bite-sized information, but we have to keep the conversation and the momentum going in the portfolio. So you can submit to us two formats. One is a news or a normal article, which is normally shorter, 500 words or less, or a full feature, which we put in a separate platform. So by the way, for the bulletin, we have about close to 2,000 subscribers. Perhaps some of you here who have already been having different project phases, you might have more subscribers. That's possible. But the advantage of the portfolio bulletin is this is really targeted to investors in portfolio managers in the GEF IW community and also in other organizations. And this is targeted at the community. So mainly the GEF IW community of practitioners and then the practitioners beyond the portfolio. This is very targeted. This is the exposure platform. And the nice thing about this is it's really telling a story in a very visual way. So we can combine not only highly attractive visuals, but we can also, or pictures, but we can also use videos. So for those of you who have actually videos like interviews or some short documentations, we can also embed it in your story. And the difference with exposure is that it is a platform, a separate platform on its own, offered to any interested reader and publisher. So that means if exposure has, I don't know exactly the amount right now, maybe 50,000, 100,000 readers in the platform. If we just target, or if we just reach 25%, then we easily get many 10,000s, 20,000s of readers. So this goes beyond the GEF IW portfolio. So for example, there is one article, one feature story from ATSI, Adafura in Timor Seas, which was after getting published, for a week, they got directly at 20,000 views. So, I mean, I'm interested to know if you know of any platform that offers such kind of readership as well. But for now, this is really very good for sharing stories from the projects. And then we also have videos. You might have not seen this yet. This is a little bit hidden in the website right now. And we're trying to improve that by providing directly the things that would be useful for a certain group. Like, we have the list of things for managers, we have a list of things for communicators, etc. So, but the links here, we have two videos at least. This one is very useful, the getting the news out. We did a webinar sometime in the previous phase in 2019, I think. And I checked it. It's still very, very useful. There are many tips on how to write a compelling story. And of course, we will be coming up with more. And then this is one of the exciting things that's coming in this phase of IW Learn. So we want to really reach out to a much, much wider viewership audience. So we want to tap into the elusive media contacts. And one of the projects, also one of the veterans in the GEF IW community, the Danube project, they were able to have a documentation from the BBC. So that's something that I think many of us, or all of the projects, deserve to have. So we plan to also invite them to share their experience, like how they were able to capture the attention of the media. And they've still been getting inquiries on specific topics. So that's one. And then we also, so hold on a second. Let me just show this directly. So we have the workshops. We also plan to have a roster of communication specialists in environmental journalists and media networks. So For the roster of communication specialists, we know that many of the projects also have very limited resources in comparison to what they need to deliver. So this roster will be very helpful, like because it will be possible for managers to get in touch directly with the communication specialist, or let's say who's freelancing, or maybe can even talk to that project if they can synergize on the communication specialist on a separate project, depending on schedule, etc., and help them come up with a specific campaign if they can't afford to hire, let's say, a regular communication specialist, or if something is just a project base. So, and of course, access to the media would be good. So we're also discussing some um, activities, like a possibility to sponsor a media, a journalist into the IWC who will get to see what the portfolio is doing, immerse them in there so that they become our agent of, they become our promoter, so to speak. And also to help us really come up with materials that is captivating for any type of reader. And then the networking part, we hope to come up with of course, right now we're already networking, and I hope that you try to also remember who we are with right now in this call. And we have also we created communications at IWLearn.org. I'm not sure if you have seen it. We've received reports that some of our project contacts had difficulty or are not receiving messages from us. So if you could just mark our emails. So for you guys, it's this one, communications at IWLearn.org. Search for it in your inbox, junk folder, mark it as safe, or if there's a way for your email client to mark this already as safe, that would be great. Yeah, you can use this to share any information. So I would really like to see a community wherein we're not scared to share. Like if you know of an article about how to write compelling stories, whether it's written or not written by someone from the community, please share it, because it's going to be helpful for all of us. Yeah, and then there's this other thing. We were thinking of coming up with a monthly communications catch up, which will be probably between 45 to 60 minutes, just for sharing information and for everyone to get the chance to really share their experiences, share whatever tools, whatever tips they have to help us effectively communicate the projects, the work that we're doing. And then we can also have someone, like invite someone from our implementing agencies to provide a tutorial or demonstration or a talk on a very big global campaign. For example, from UNDP, I can do that. I can ask colleagues, etc. And then we can do a project presentation from any of the projects, or we can even do a twinning, some sort of a more interactive one where in two projects will present. And then in the end, we can have an open forum and also a way for everyone to provide an update on what they're doing, etc. So, okay, I'm down to my last slides. I hope that was not overwhelming. Just two small reminders, but very, very important. Please mark our emails safe. So that would be basically, if you can add this too, if you can search for these two emails and add them, updates at iwlearn.org. That's what we're using to send the portfolio bulletin. PCU at iwlearn.org. That's the way to contact everyone in the team. And also for other communications and outreach concerns, so you may contact, where the main contact would be, of course, the PCU. And then you can add me, and also Maria Camila, who has been very, very helpful in getting things done on the communications end. So she's our junior consultant. Thanks very much for helping us also get in touch with everyone. So I initially sent the invitation, but I had the feeling that not everyone received it. So Maria Camila sent one from her email. And then the other thing is, please, I know this, I also had difficulty with this, and I was not thinking that this is so important back in the days, but please try to remember your GEF ID number. Because in our upcoming communications and registrations, etc., we will be most likely be asking about the GEF ID number. So that will be one of our common language, the GEF ID number in the project's short name. Before I end my session, I just hope that Camila, can you please help me? Okay, hold on. Let me just show this. I'm done with my talk. So now it will be your turn after this poll. So let me just close my presentation. And now I will launch the poll. And of course, if any of you has a question, please raise your hands or feel free to get the mic, to turn on your mic. I'm going to launch the poll right now. Okay, we have 5 messages. Oh, okay. Very sorry, I was not able to read this. I hope everyone was able to hear me though. So before I launch the poll, I'll go through the questions. Who is Kay Perez? Kay Perez from... Would also be nice to know your project. Would you like to read your question, to say your question?
Hi everyone. Yes, I'm Carla Perez. I'm from the PACA project, now known as Sustainable Pacific Project. My question is, can we share stories or news for the exposure site at any time, or are there certain deadlines?
Actually, we have deadlines, but we're open to any submissions at any given time. So we actually like it if you just, send us automatically any information, any stories that you'd like us to publish. Because, I mean, we normally sometimes get a bulk of submissions at a certain time, and it gets also challenging for us to catch up with publishing them all at the same time. So, but you can expect that if you just release if you submit your story in between 2 um, editions, yours will be most likely published in the upcoming one. So that's something to take note of. Any other questions? So now I will also launch the poll question, if I'm able to see it. Camilla, I'm not able to see the polls. Maybe you can launch it. Here. Okay. And also, I mean, I think it's worth mentioning that we have members in the team who are French speakers, and also Camila is also a Spanish speaker. So it would really be nice to also have stories in languages other than English. If that's the one that's holding you back from submitting stories, please don't. So there's also Google Translate we can help with. I can help with coming up with stories, story in English. So please, just reach out to us and share whatever messages, stories you'd like us to share, especially to the GEF, because they've been asking us all the time. Okay, so many of you, wow. Out of 17 respondents, only 1 has participated in a past IW Learn workshop. This is very revealing. So the rest, no. So everyone is kind of new. So I'm sharing the results very quickly. And then Camila, maybe you can launch the second question, please. You guys are very quiet. So also, one of the new exciting things that we plan to do, is to come up with not only project-based stories, but also to really highlight the thought leadership, the brilliant minds of our managers and technical experts in the community by coming up with a feature that's more event related, or let's say thematic related, like in the next couple of weeks, we will have the COP28. So we might be circulating some questions to some of the project managers to ask what they think about specific aspects related to climate and international waters management. Okay. This is looking good. So we just ask about if everyone thinks that the monthly communications catch up is a good idea. This looks good. So 76%, 13 out of 17 said that, yeah, they'd like to have, that it's a good idea to have the monthly communications catch up. It might be late for some and might be too early for some, but that's something that we can all agree on later on, how we do it, how we move forward with the schedules, because I think that will be the one that's most challenging. And then the last one, please, Camilla, just share this quickly. There's still one more question, or yeah, we still have one last question.
Yes, it's coming.
And in the meantime, I will also share again my screen, because one of the requests from some of the projects is they would like to have access to templates, like a communication strategy, communication planning template. Because there is one experience from one of the projects wherein they tried to hire an agency to do it. So a third service provider. And yeah, for a communication strategy, they submitted around more than 100 pages. And it doesn't have to be like that, because we don't have the time to really go through 100 pages for something that can be just 5 pages or so. So we're going to help you by sharing some examples and some templates, blank templates for this one. And then I also created this topic. While this is ongoing, I'm also going to share my screen again. Okay. Or I'm just removing all the excess views. So I'm going to share this with the team, with the group, with everyone here and the rest of the comms colleagues. Here, there is one file that I would like to share with everyone, because if you would like to plan your campaigns, I have here a list of relevant global days, mostly from the UN and some from international conferences like the upcoming World Water Forum in Bali, also of course COP28, which is very major, and World Oceans Day, etc. So from here, you don't need to look for this anymore because the list is available. And then if you would like to also promote some of your material, some of your stories on the IW Learn social media channels, You can just, it would be really nice if you can directly add here your proposed messages and then also the rest of the links. So normally, this is what I use is just Google Sheet. You can also download this. I will share the link after, within the week. You can use this to plan your social media messages and to collaborate with your colleagues as well. What else do I have here? So that's one that we can all together use. Because also the advantage of this is someone is looking for a content and doesn't have one. But like if I'm working on a fisheries project and I don't have a message right now, I can just pick a relevant fisheries message from here and share it on my social media channel. So it's like we're really synergizing and also saving us a big amount of work, because social media can also really be time consuming and energy resource consuming. There are also some templates for now. I have some in the event management. For example, I organized a global event for UNDP on World Oceans Day, which became their signature event for World Oceans Day. We had Peter Thompson, the Crown Prince of Norway, the Crown Princess of Sweden, the Ocean Innovators, etc., in one really high-level event. That was my first gig. And this has helped me a lot. Of course, I also just learned about this template from another UNDP colleague in a similar catch-up, communications catch-up. So we have that in UNDP. And about, I think, 300, 100, at least 100 participate in that monthly catch-up. So it's really helpful to attend this kind of networking events. Communication plan strategies, I will drop in here whatever I can get. We also have our own and we'll share here. And I'll also add some references like cheat sheets for social media. What's the size? What's the file size? The dimension for images for Facebook, etc. So this kind of things. Okay. And we got your feedback on the next topics. So the one that's most in demand is communication strategy planning. The next one, kind of like at the same level, is visual storytelling and social media planning. And then the last one is, okay, communication. I don't know what that is. That was cut. So that's it from me. Any intervention from Constantina, Claudette, any of the projects? We really like to hear from you. We have a message. Okay, link to the poll. Okay, I hope, Samuel, that you were able to see the link.
Hi, Tina. Hi, Tina. Hi, Christine. Thanks for the presentation. No, I haven't been able to see where the link is.
Okay, I'm very sorry about that. But yeah, we can have a bilateral at some point. So Samuel works for UNEP, right?
National Waters,
So
yes.
Samuel could be our link to the UNEP network of communicators, which is not bad. So just to let you know what I also do, since I'm an insider in the UNDP world, which is very big. We're working with about 200 countries. So what I do is I try to post some of our stories from the community, but of course I can only do it for UNDP projects. So I post it on wherever I can, like for one Twitter account with 200,000 followers. That's not bad. So maybe Samuel can also help that with us on that for UNEP projects. And if there's anyone here who's working in the FAO or in other GEF agency, it would be great if we can build up on these networks that we have from, from our project, from other things that we're doing other than the GEF IW community. And we have a question from Ibrahim. Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting.
Sorry?
Thank you. Sorry, I was muted. So I am I don't remember the ID number in the mind, but I'm working for CCLMA project. So I'm the communication person. Just to say that thank you for this initiative. I think that it's important to have this kind of live catch up. I think that it is better to have this kind of interaction. Just to say that because I was not here at the beginning, I was in another meeting. Just to know if you have any how you address the language issue, because I know that some persons, and it's not my case, but I used to have persons that are not comfortable with another language than the native one. I know that francophone. I don't know if you have many francophone here, and if you are taking into consideration this issue. The second thing is that you asked the question if we have a person from FAO. Yeah, I'm here. I'm from FAO, and it's maybe a moment for me to say that, yeah, we can see how we can support each other, because I think one question is not just, we are not here always to learn a lot, to have this kind of technical trainings. We can share also our own experience. We have a background, so maybe we can see. I think the best way is to have this kind of monthly catch up, and so we can build the capacity of each others. So just to say that I'm here with you. For example, with language issues, me, I'm francophone. Je suis plus français. So if I can help on proofreading, on translating sometimes, so I will be happy to do that. Thank you.
Well, that's really a wonderful intervention. Thanks very much for bringing that up. Yeah, on the language, that's very, very welcome, Rahim. Like to have, I mean, that's something that we can actually do. Of course, the PCU will have to think about it and consider. But maybe we can set up like a network of, let's say, francophonic communicators, the Spanish communicators, and just really use it as a way to, like a peer reviewer for a technical paper, like we just share a story, and then we try to get feedback from them, and then yeah, that will normally help. And on the language, fortunately, this batch of the PCU for IW Learn has francophonic speaking members. So that is one, for example, and also Malik. And then we have Maria Camila, who's Spanish speaking. So I think we will do well this time. But if we can really build on each other's skills and capacities, that's even gonna make it easier for everyone. And then on FAO, thank you very much for that. That's going to be helpful. Then maybe we can also do a bilateral on that. And then learning, yes, definitely. So for communications, the thing is, when I started as a webmaster, the executive director really told me, for you as a webmaster to do your job well, you have to learn the topics. You can't just do web development or communication without knowing what we're doing. So he was really making sure that I attend every meeting. So my brain was, I had a lot of integrated coastal management, fisheries, ecosystem-based, blah, 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 all of these things. And in five years, I was an expert. No, I'm just kidding. No, but we can really learn from each other. Like the project managers also need to learn from the communicators how to market, market the project to get new investments, to get more support, and also to really convince the world out there that, hey, we're doing something good here. So join us or replicate our efforts. So we need to really do everything more dynamic this time. No more questions. We're already 5 minutes over time. So I would say, oh, okay. Estella. Yes, please. The mic is yours.
Hello, Thank you very much, Christine, and all the presenters for the presentation. It's very comprehensive. And nice to meet you all virtually. I'm Stella, the Regional Communications and Knowledge Management Specialist for the ATC2 project. Oh, by the way, Mas Han says hi to you, Christine and Claudette. Just a quick, simple question. Any specific target in mind from IWL Learn for the project to submit the stories? Maybe like monthly or quarterly? Because we have in our communication plan, we aim for monthly schedule to submit the story, because we have quarterly newsletter and we can adopt the stories from there to submit to the IWL Learn. Do you think that maybe works or a bit too much, or please, I need your opinion on that. Thank you very much.
So just a quick intervention from me, and Claudette, you're free to react also. Yeah, thanks. No, ATSI is really doing one of the projects who is really doing great with communications and outreach. It's like they're producing stories more than once a month. So even if you don't submit them to us because you post this on your social media channels, we are able to capture them. But I mean, it would be nicer also if you write to us directly. So just send to us at any given time, because we can send this directly to the GEF and other colleagues who might find a good use for it. And for everyone, if you have social media and you post something, please, please, please tag IWL Learn, so that even if you don't write to us on email, we know that, oh, this one is from the project, retweet, repost, and then we directly double our results from a single effort. And thank you, really appreciate your hard work, Stella, and the rest of the team. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Claudette, maybe we should close if there are no questions. What do you think?
Yeah, I only had one last thing before closing. I know I'm insisting a bit, but I would like if whoever can turn on the camera to turn on the camera so we can take a photo, so we can use it in our social media posts. I think that would be a nice thing from today's webinar.
It's great to see the faces behind the names, always. Are you doing it, Claudette?
Yes, both Malek and I will be doing it, so make sure one of us does it right. I will do it. Okay, I will do it now. Thank you. Well, Malek, I hope you're doing it. I haven't done it yet. Voila. Yes, excellent. Thank you. Perfect.
So, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining the
Thank you
call.
so much.
And hope to see you
Thanks.
next month. Maybe we do a Christmas party. Thank you, Maria. Thank you,
Bye,
Emilio,
bye.
Bye.
Ina,
Bye.
Sergio, Samuel, everyone.
Thanks,
Fabian.
Christine. Thank you.
See you again next time.
Sure.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.